My name is Courtney, and I'd like to welcome you to this presentation, where we will explore teaching approaches to numeracy and literacy in the early years setting. We are looking at teaching experiences that support the cognitive and literacy milestones of children aged 3 to 5. Literacy teaching approaches we will cover include music, story and rhyme, dramatic play, and my personal favourite, technology. At 3 to 5 years old, according to the developmental milestones, children should have the literacy skills to tell stories. This early years learning framework outcome 5, children are effective communicators. Children engage with a range of texts and gain meaning from these texts. For example, sing and chant rhymes, jingles and songs. To support this learning outcome, I would use the song Creepy Crawly Caterpillar, which teaches a story about a life cycle through song and encourage children to then be able to retell the story themselves. The research suggests that listening to music in any form helps children learn numeracy, literacy, and emotional skills. The Queensland Government suggests music gets children moving, thinking, inspires creativity, and is one of the few experiences that use both sides of the brain, logical and creative. This means music helps build important brain connections and helps us think faster. Music is a fun opportunity for children to be engaged in learning. Children learning stories and being able to tell those stories through music is developmentally appropriate activity for children aged 3 to 5, as we know from the developmental outcomes and early years learning framework. Although not every teacher will use music as a teaching approach to literacy compared to intentional teaching or simply reading stories, I believe it is evident that overall, music is a cognitively engaging experience for children's learning. At 3 to 5 years of age, according to the developmental milestones, children should have the literacy skills to tell and share stories to others. This learning outcome is learning outcome 5. It suggests children engage with a range of texts and gain meaning from these texts. This is evident when children, for example, retell simple stories in a logical sequence using a range of material and expressive forms, like blocks or dramatic play. To support this outcome for children, I would teach literacy through dramatic play and set up a home corner that had dress-ups and props based on their current interests that support them role-playing. This could be firemen, superheroes, or fairy tale themed. This experience is age appropriate as outlined in the developmental milestones. Children tell stories. And evidence suggests that English language children are at risk for communication and language delays. These are crucial elements in the foundation of early literacy skills. Studies have shown that preschool children who are involved in dramatic play demonstrate greater abilities and interest in language development and reading. Although the evidence is based on English language learners being at risk, I believe that majority of children from all language backgrounds and abilities would benefit from dramatic play-based learning literacy. At 3 to 5 years of age, according to the developmental milestones, children should have the literacy skills to tell stories. This relates to learning outcome 5. Children are effective communicators. Children use information and communication technologies to access information, investigate ideas, and represent their thinking. For example, educators could provide children with access to a range of technologies. To support this outcome for children's learning through technology, I would provide them cameras to take photos and then print them to stick in a book where they can draw and write next to the photo, and then talk about their photograph and their experience and story about taking the photo, which we know is developmentally appropriate task for children aged 3 to 5. This can be discussed with peers through both class presentations or organic interactions, and with educators and family members at any time. We can see in the retelling stories multi-modal video that incorporating technology into the classroom is an effective tool to engage children in their learning, and the Australian curriculum content under literacy suggests that foundation level children should be able to engage in conversations and make short presentations. Although some services will have different philosophies and views on technology integration into their program, as well as some teachers facing the potential disadvantage of accessing technology resources for their children, using technology for children's literacy learning is ultimately beneficial for most children and their teachers. The teaching numeracy approaches we will look at will be nature, music, and play. The developmental milestones tell us that children aged 3 to 5 should be able to count 5 to 10 things. This links to learning outcome 2. Children are connected with and contribute to their world. It suggests that we can provide children with access to a range of natural materials in their environment. To support this outcome through learning numeracy, I would set up a scavenger hunt outside with numbers of how many of the natural item they need to collect, up to 10. For example, find 5 sticks. This experience meets the developmental milestone of children aged 3 to 5 to count 5 to 10 things. A book suggests that numeracy is looked at more in early childhood now more than ever. However, it has been confused with the formal learning, such as worksheets. This does not encourage hands-on learning or the ability to make connections between real-world and mathematical understanding. Mathematical experiences too early can turn children off mathematics, and that is why a play-based approach is essential. I think there are some children who will exceed developmental milestones in kinder and show interest in worksheet activities early, as not all children enjoy being outside. But overall, a play-based approach to numeracy will benefit most children. The developmental milestones tell us that children aged 3 to 5 should be able to count 5 to 10 things. This links to learning outcome 5. For example, children demonstrate an increasing understanding of measurement and number using vocabulary to describe size, length, volume, capacity, and names of numbers. To support this learning outcome through a musical approach to numeracy, I would sing the nursery rhyme 5 Little Ducks and get them to count their fingers through the song. This experience and learning outcome are age appropriate, as outlined in the developmental milestones for 3 to 5 age children, counting 5 to 10 things. Evidence suggests that there are important benefits of music in early childhood, which include stimulating brain development, supporting memory, spatial awareness, communication, and language development, and promote a sense of well-being, just to name a few. Although music isn't a common practice in teaching numeracy, I think all the benefits are important for children in their cognitive learning and support a strong foundation for their developing brain to learn mathematical concepts and more. The developmental milestones state that children aged 3 to 5 should be able to count 5 to 10 things. This links to learning outcome 5. For example, children take on roles of literacy and numeracy users in their play. To support this learning outcome, I would set up a dramatic play corner that is a shop and have play money, groceries or toys, price tags on the items, and cash registers for children to play and explore numeracy. Educators should scaffold their play to support the learning outcomes during this experience. This experience is age appropriate, as children should be able to count 5 to 10 items during their play, as they pretend to add up the items or how many dollars it costs. Play-based learning provides opportunities for children to engage physically and imaginatively with objects, people, and their environment. While playing, children can organize, construct, manipulate, pretend, explore, investigate, create, interact, imagine, negotiate, and make sense of their world. Play-based learning promotes the holistic development of a child and can support a range of literacy and numeracy skills. Teachers can scaffold play to support children's learning outcomes during their play. Whilst numeracy can be seen as something to be intentionally taught at most times, I believe many children will naturally learn numeracy through play, as they have a hands-on experience to make real connections they will remember and build from as they develop.